Welcome to the virtual groundbreaking for the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center. I'm Dana Humphrey, Dean of Engineering at the University of Maine. I'd like to introduce you to a team of outstanding individuals who are making construction of the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center a reality for the next generation of UMaine engineering students. Thanks to the great technology folks here at UMaine, we will live stream for the next 30 minutes and play pre-recorded videos. We'll post them to the UMaine Foundation website so you may view them again later. Please share the link with your friends. Near the end, we will virtually break ground using a unique format with appropriate social distancing. I'll be joined by Matt Tonello, Director of Operations for Consigli, Maine, Ray Bolduc, Principal of WBRC Architects and Engineers, UMaine President Joan Farini-Mundi, University of Maine System Chancellor Dan Malloy, and UMaine Foundation President Jeff Mills. Let's begin with a video from Jeff Mills.
Hello, I'm Jeff Mills, President and CEO of the University of Maine Foundation. Donors to the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center have set new records for private capital support to the University of Maine as part of our $200 million Vision for Tomorrow comprehensive campaign. Thank you all.
I'm pleased to announce the fundraising total for the Ferland Center is a record $78 million in private and public funds.
It includes support from more than 500 alumni, friends, corporations, foundations, and the great state of Maine. The naming gift of $10 million from Skowhegan natives Jim and Eileen Ferland is the largest single capital gift in the University of Maine system's history. Jim is a retired power industry executive with a degree in mechanical engineering from UMaine, class of 1964. Jim and Eileen returned to Orono for his 60th class reunion last fall to announce this wonderful gift.
We would also like to thank the Harold Alfond Foundation for all their help and support for the Ferland Center.
We are fortunate to have received 4 other gifts of $1 million or more to the Ferland Center, including a $1 million gift from the Packaging Corporation of America to name the PCA Commons. Carrie Enos, president of the UMaine Pulp and Paper Foundation, helped us to announce this gift on our Maine Day of Giving. Thank you, Mark Calzan, president and CEO of PCA. Also, a $1 million gift from Dr. Denham Ward, class of 1969, and Debbie Lipscomb, trustees of the Abbott Gadasset Foundation. Denham and Debbie returned to Bowdoinham, Maine after being part of the Rochester, New York alumni chapter. Also, a $1.5 million gift from the Pfeiffer Research Foundation in support of our biomedical engineering laboratories. And a $1 million gift from Pratt & Whitney to name the new machine tool lab. We appreciate Pratt & Whitney North Berwick for facilitating this gift and employing so many UMaine engineers. Once again, I'd like to thank all those people who helped to make the Ferland Center the largest capital fundraising project in the history of the University of Maine, the college of our hearts, always.
Thank you, Jeff. I'd also like to thank Pat Cummings, Diane Woodworth, Dan Willett, Sarah McPartland-Good, and all the philanthropy officers at the UMaine Foundation who care for our donors. This project would not have happened without your tireless efforts. Now I'd like to introduce the president of the University of Maine and University of Maine at Machias, Joan Farini-Mundi. Joan came to UMaine from the National Science Foundation in Washington, D.C., where she was the chief operating officer. Immediately upon her arrival 2 years ago, Joan began visiting Maine companies, several of whom have given to this project. She has led the development of a system-wide research plan. Throughout the COVID-19 crisis, Joan has offered insightful and proactive leadership for our students, faculty, staff, and state. Now let's turn to Joan.
Thank you very much, Dean Humphrey. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you to this opportunity to break new ground together in this virtual way for the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center. This is a major milestone for the future of engineering and for education, for the University of Maine, the University of Maine system, the state of Maine, and well beyond. The building will be constructed on the University of Maine campus in Orono, on Marsh Island, in the homeland of the Penobscot Nation. I'm very glad that you're all joining us this afternoon. I'm a new president here, and when I arrived 2 years ago, I was delighted to find so much progress on this exciting project and have been thrilled to be a partner with all of you in bringing it to where we are today. The Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center's new laboratories and classrooms will enable team-based, hands-on experience for next generations of graduates of University of Maine engineering programs. These generations of students will provide leadership and innovation in engineering for careers in Maine and well beyond. The Ferland Center, the way it has been designed, will support the most modern, cutting-edge ways of approaching teaching and learning. It will provide spaces for groups to work together on the projects that they are inventing, from their senior capstone projects to others. It will allow for interdisciplinary work and working across the boundaries of engineering to solve real problems for our state and beyond. At this moment, the class of 2020 is completing their senior year online and with remote instruction. I have to say, I'm so pleased that our faculty and students and staff have responded with characteristic ingenuity and great resilience. This unprecedented and very necessary response to the COVID-19 crisis is making me and all of us, I hope, appreciate all the more the strength of our university community and the importance of a college education to prepare the next generation to respond to unique challenges. In particular, in engineering, where innovation and inventions to solve problems are critical, we are just seeing our students and our faculty step up at this important moment, and we know that the new building is going to serve as a wonderful motivation for all of us to continue in this area of work. We're continuing to increase enrollment in engineering to produce the talent needed by industry. That's critical to Maine's economy, particularly as we look to the post-COVID-19 period. The project itself is a jobs creator, as recognized by the state legislature and the governor when they approved a record $50 million of state investment for this project in July of 2017. At the peak of construction, which will occur under safe conditions, when we are past the pandemic, an estimated 150 workers will be on site with additional workers off-site and in supporting roles. WBRC Architects Engineers, based in Bangor, and Ellenzweig of Boston have designed the new Ferland Center. And Consigli Construction of Milford, Massachusetts, and Portland, Maine is leading its construction. We are really proud of all of the UMaine graduates who are working on this design and construction. The Ferland Center is expected to be completed in the spring of 22. One thing that we're very excited about is that the center's its education and welcome center within the center will be the front door for all of our admissions tours, welcoming prospective students from all majors from across the university to our flagship public research institution. I'd like to thank many people, especially Jim and Eileen Ferland, the Harold Alfond Foundation and their president and CEO, Greg Powell, and all of the donors who have made this a reality. Special thanks to President Emerita Susan Hunter, who helped make this project happen in her time here. I would also like to acknowledge the outstanding leadership and incredible energy of Dean Dana Humphrey for his vision, his hard work, and his persistence in ensuring that this is coming to fruition. Our Chief Business Officer, Claire Strickland, has been essential in shepherding this project through the many planning and policy approvals that it needs. And I know that we all appreciate what a special and optimistic time this is for our University of Maine faculty and staff in engineering, for all of the students, those who are here now, the thousands of students who will begin their professional learning in the new Ferland Center, and all of our alums who are so proud to see their campus, their institution, making this kind of an advancement going forward. Thank you too to our leadership in the University of Maine system and the Board of Trustees for all that they have done to support this work. This is a wonderful day, and I'm delighted to be a part of it.
Thank you, President Farini Mundi. Now I'd like to give you a virtual tour of the building.
Hi, my name's Dana Humphrey. I'm Dean of Engineering at the University of Maine, and it's my pleasure to take you on a virtual tour of the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center. I'd like to start by thanking our wonderful donors, James and Eileen Ferland, who have given the naming gift for this building. This building is going to become the heart of engineering education at the University of Maine. Undergraduate students will be in this building at least once a day for something. Now we take a look at where is this building located on campus. To orient ourselves, there's the Black Bear that's in front of the field house. And then we have the engineering district, and the building is right here. That three-story building is the Ferland Engineering Education Design Center, right in the heart of the engineering district. Now let's take a look at a street level view. Here's the building from Long Road. This is a three-story building. The bottom floor is granite facade. The second and third floor is mostly brick to match the brick nature of the University of Maine campus. We have the first floor, which has significant laboratory space, which we're going to look at. The second floor is primarily mechanical engineering with classrooms for everyone. And then the third story is biomedical engineering, again with classrooms for all different majors. Now we take a look at the south end of the building. This is the Cloak Plaza entrance. You can see we have steps going up into the building. We have outdoor seating so people can take and come and enjoy this nice, warm southern exposure. You can see we have 2 stories of glass here to let lots of natural light into the building. Now, one of the great features that we have is we're going to have a connecting walkway to Boardman Hall, the second story level. Boardman is one of our historic engineering buildings. That way students can freely flow from Boardman Hall to the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center. Now let's actually go inside the building. This is inside the south entrance of the building. This is the Packaging Corporation of America Commons, where we have comfortable seating here for students and faculty to interact, to chat, to work on problems. We have food service that's available here, so up through grab-and-go sandwiches. So there's a place where you'd come for a cup of coffee to get a bite to eat. And then if we look in the back, what we have is we have meeting rooms for students. We have 12 rooms like this on each floor of the building with seating capacity between 5 and 12 students. This is space where students can take and actually sign up for that space. Now if we take a look at the opposite end, so this is the north entrance to the building. Here we have our welcome center for the entire campus. When a prospective student comes to campus, they're going to start their tours here in the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center. We can see the stairway going up to the second floor, so very bright, open, inviting space. Now let's take a look at some of the labs. This is the Student Project Design Suite. This is the heart of the building. We have 48 workbenches that we can assign to a group of students for a semester or a year. So that's going to be their bench. It has lockable storage underneath so they can keep their stuff there. Since it's their bench, they can leave their projects out on top. All the utilities come down from overhead so we can take and rearrange the benches as needed. And this space is surrounded by shops. And we have shops for biomedical engineering, electronics, 3D printing, a tool crib, a vehicle shop, a metal shop, a wood shop, and a composite shop. So the students are going to go out to the appropriate shops, fabricate parts, bring them together to their bench, assemble them, test it, debug it, go back out to the shops and make modifications to make real projects that really work. Let's take a look now at one of the other labs. This is the Pratt & Whitney Tool Suite. This is a suite where we have milling machines, metal lathes, a program that's absolutely vital for our mechanical engineering technology group, and very bright, very open space and a vital learning component for this building. Now let's take and move up to the second floor. Here you can see, looking down what we call Main Street, you can see lots of glass so people in the corridor can go out and look and see the cool things that's happening in the surrounding classrooms and laboratories. Nice open staircase going up to the third floor. You can also see the basic color scheme. We have nice wood paneling there, along with some accent of UMaine blue. Let's take a look at some of the spaces in the second floor. This is one of our collaborative classrooms. You can see we have it set up where the students are going to be sitting at tables of 6 with a large screen monitor at the head of each table. So the students are going to come to a space like this and work together on problems. Any student sitting at a table can wirelessly take and connect their computer to the monitor. And what we want is to have that learning happen in this small group environment under the guidance of our faculty. Now let's take a look at one of the laboratories on the second floor. This is one of the mechanical engineering teaching labs. All the utilities come down from a grid that's overhead. And the benches themselves can take and be rearranged as needed. This is vital space for both mechanical engineering and mechanical engineering technology. Now let's take a look up on the third floor. This is looking down Main Street on the third floor. You can see we have a skylight that runs the length of the building. This is going to let lots of natural light in. This is going to be a bright, warm, inviting space. We have windows that look out into the surrounding classrooms and labs. On one side we have our biomedical engineering teaching laboratories, and then we go to the other side. We have, looking down here, we have our biomedical engineering research labs. So people here are going to be able to look and see the cool things that's happening in our laboratories. To let light down into the lower floors, we have this opening here on the floor, so the natural light from the skylights is actually going to penetrate all the way down into the building. Very, very wonderful space and vital for our biomedical engineering program. So I'd like to wrap up by emphasizing we're going to be opening in fall of 2022. So the students, when they come back for that fall semester, they're going to be in this building. And I'd really like to recognize all the wonderful folks who have been part of this process. Our design team was WBRC, Architect and Engineers, based out of Bangor. Ellenswig, based out of Boston. Structural engineer was Thornton Tomasetti. Our contractor is Consigli. The University of Maine is front and center because the faculty and the students in the College of Engineering spent countless hours giving input to the design. This is very much their project. And then we have the state of Maine. The state of Maine has been vital because they gave the base funding for this building with bipartisan support. We've had over 500 donors for this project, and these are pictures of just a few of them. This has been a joint effort to make this incredible project come together, and this project will be the best of its kind in the Northeast and will give the University of Maine College of Engineering the cutting edge relative to programs throughout the Northeast.
This will be an exciting building for UMaine engineering students, and so I've invited Allison Bessette, a senior in mechanical engineering, to share her thoughts on the project.
Hi, my name is Allison Bessette. I'm a senior in mechanical engineering, and I'm originally from Agawam, Massachusetts. As I learn more about the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center, I'm excited what it means for the future engineering students, especially those in mechanical. By having that design suite itself, you're able to have so many more resources available to these students to have this hands-on project. The best way to learn, especially in engineering, is hands-on. Students will be able to have their own space to debug and learn by trial and error and have access to the different types of materials, the composites, the metal, the wood, the 3D printing shop. Those are all different resources that many students haven't had experience with. And by being able to have these labs available to them, it's one of the most meaningful things because you're able to use the different types of materials and projects that you might see in classroom, but you won't be able to work on hands-on usually. So this is something that I've been so excited to hear about. The design suite itself is going to open so many new avenues for these students and so many different types of learning available to the new engineering students. Another thing that's exciting about the Ferland is the collaborative classrooms. I found with myself and a bunch of my friends that small group setting makes it so easy to learn and to pick up new concepts because sometimes your friend gets it one way and you get it another, and having that collaborative classroom with that monitor right on the end is one of the best ways to learn. Small groups are how I learn, and it's one of those things that I'm excited to see that students are going to have that readily available to them. I'm also excited to hear about food service. I know a lot of students have those issues with not having enough caffeine. So having the food service makes it easier so we can stay on with our studies and not have to worry about stopping for food. We can get food in the building and then continue working on our projects or our studies. So overall, I think those are the top 3 things that I found most exciting with the Ferland Engineering and Education Design Center. And it's going to be one of those amazing projects. And I'm so excited to see this project come to life.
We'll now hear from Maine Governor Janet Mills.
Hello, I'm Governor Janet Mills. During this difficult crisis, I'm pleased to take this moment to celebrate a significant milestone, the virtual groundbreaking of the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center at the flagship University of Maine campus in Orono. This is an exciting opportunity for UMaine students to learn skills in emerging fields, in state-of-the-art classrooms and biomedical and mechanical engineering labs. And once we're on the other side of this pandemic, it will be another crucial tool to help us address our workforce challenges, which is critical to the growth of our economy and our success as a state. I offer my sincere congratulations to President Joan Farini-Mundi, Chancellor Daniel Malloy, and the System's Board of Trustees, Jeff Mills of the UMaine Foundation, and Dean Humphrey for this accomplishment, as well as the more than 500 private donors who made this possible. The state of Maine is a proud financial partner in every respect in this effort.
We will now hear from the Chair of the University of Maine System Board of Trustees, James Irwin, and Chancellor Dan Malloy.
The Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center is exactly the kind of investment we need to be making in the University of Maine, in the Maine economy, and in our children's future. The public and private support that have made today possible will give the University of Maine a competitive advantage in attracting and preparing students for terrific jobs, both in Maine and beyond. Congratulations from the University of Maine System Board of Trustees to the many, many people whose teamwork and effort have helped bring today to fruition.
Hello, my name is Dan Malloy. I'm the Chancellor of the University of Maine System. I'm with you today to mark this tremendous occasion in which we celebrate the beginning of the building of the new Engineering Center. I want to thank the Ferlands for their generous support of this project. And I want to thank over 500 additional individual and corporate donors who've made this day possible. Thank you for what you're allowing us to do at the University of Maine System and the University of Maine in particular. We will now be in a position to meet the need that Maine has for engineers and to make sure that we're providing that human capital to our future development.
The need for this project was demonstrated by the record 170 companies at our 2019 Engineering Career Fair in Orono. These companies competed against each other to hire talented UMaine engineering students for internships and full-time careers. I offer my thanks to Governor Janet Mills, former Governor Paul LePage, current and former Maine legislators who were united in approving the $50 million budget appropriation for debt service. I also give my thanks to former UMaine Vice President for Finance, Janet Waldron, who commissioned an early architectural study that was the genesis for this project. As soon as that study was completed, the members of the College of Engineering Dean's Advisory Council made the first donations for the project. I am grateful for the Council's tireless advocacy throughout this project. I am also grateful for the advocacy team, John Lisnick, who sadly passed away last week, Samantha Warren, President Emerita Susan J. Hunter, as well as the Honorable Carl Turner, Chair James Irwin, and all members of the University of Maine System Board of Trustees, Chancellor Emeritus James Page, Chancellor Dan Malloy, and President Joan Farini-Mundi for prioritizing this project. The Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center will be the focal point for engineering education at the University of Maine. I expect that every engineering student will be in the building at least once a day, be it for class, a laboratory session, to build their senior capstone project, to seek extra help from one of their professors, use one of the 12 team meeting rooms, or to have a cup of coffee in the student commons. Design of this amazing building was led by a partnership between WBRC, Architect Engineers in Bangor, and Ellenswig in Boston. The principal in charge of this project was Ray Bolduc, one of my former students. The college has inducted Ray and Doug Whitney, president of WBRC, as distinguished members of our Francis Crowe Society. At the earliest opportunity, I plan to induct the lead architects for the project, Chris Carwall at WBRC and Michael Lauber from Ellenswig, as members of the Francis Crowe Society. Chris and Michael, along with their colleagues, have done an outstanding job on design of the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center.
Thank you and congratulations to the University of Maine. I'm Douglas Whitney, President and CEO of WBRC Architects Engineers. On behalf of WBRC and our design partners, Ellenswig, we are very proud and honored to have been selected as the architects and engineers for this project. Here's a look into the design process.
What does it take to design a multifaceted building like Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center? It takes a team. When the WBRC and Ellenswig design team came on board, UMaine had already done extensive legwork on this project, but there were still many decisions to make. Fortunately, Ellenswig is one of the country's leading architects for science, engineering, and technology buildings on university campuses. And it helps that WBRC has been working on the University of Maine campus for over a century. And most of the project engineers are UMaine graduates. Our design process started with a big tent-style visioning workshop. Team members toured other campuses and met with nearly 30 stakeholder and user groups. One challenge, fitting a 100,000 square foot building onto an established campus. Site selection involved many factors, like view corridors, pedestrian circulation, utilities, sun exposure. The building facade needed to look toward the future, yet also harmonize with neighboring buildings. For visitors, the Ferland Center experience begins at the Welcome Center with its flexible theater-style presentation area. Prospective students can walk down Main Street, look into working labs and classrooms, and get a glimpse into the learning process. The two-story commons provides a place for students and faculty to relax, get a bite to eat, prepare for class, and share ideas across disciplines. The team focused on stretching the verticality of this building. They used extensive skylighting and open stairwells to expand sightlines, along with materials like steel mesh and exposed beams. Instead of hiding the infrastructure, this building highlights it. Natural light is abundant throughout. You can see the sky on every level and look outside from virtually anywhere. The Ferland Center will advance 21st century learning by fostering collaboration and active problem solving. Every lab and active learning classroom is hands-on and flexible, with full technology integration. Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center is about inspiring creativity, building skills and confidence, and ultimately about sending forth UMaine graduates who will make the world a better place. From all of us on the design team, thank you, University of Maine, for trusting us with this once-in-a-lifetime project.
I thank the team at WBRC and Ellenswig for putting together that wonderful video. The construction documents have now been passed to the builders. Matt Tonello, Director of Operations for Consigli, Maine, will now offer a virtual fly-through of the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center construction phases. And by the way, I also had Matt in class.
Hi, I'm Matthew Tonello, Project Executive and Director of Operations here at Consigli Construction. I'm also a 1994 graduate of the Civil Engineering program at the University of Maine. I'd like to first thank Dr. Susan Hunter, President Freeney Mundy, and Dana Humphrey for all of the energy each of them has put into making this project a reality. We at Consigli are incredibly proud to have been participating during the pre-construction phase. We've built this project digitally, on paper, we've estimated it, and we've scheduled it. You're going to see in a moment a fly-through video of the construction phase operations in what we call a 4D animation. That means we're taking the 3D model produced by the design team and putting a fourth dimension of time into showing how the project will progress through the construction phase. What an incredible opportunity this project is going to be for future engineering students and everybody at the University of Maine. I'm proud to say that Consigli has benefited from all of the great learning that has gone on here as an institution. We've had many UMaine grads working during the pre-construction phase, all of whom are going to continue on through the construction work. We've had people like Jeff Picararo, our chief estimator, Bridget Cullen, project engineer, Bert Kiesau, our senior project manager, and Stacy Gom-Harris, superintendent. This project is providing an incredible opportunity to the subcontractor base and for all of the construction firms located around the Orono area. We will be bringing in subcontractors throughout the state of Maine to participate in constructing this building. Many of our subs have graduates from the UMaine Engineering and Construction Management programs. We at Consigli have 15 University of Maine grads throughout our company in all of our offices across New England and to DC. Thank you to all the donors who have so generously contributed to making this project real. Thank you also to all of the engineering students who have put effort into planning and working on this project. And I want to thank all of the subcontractors who we'll be working with collaboratively to build this incredible opportunity for the University of Maine.
I'd like to thank the team at UMaine Facilities Management, including Walter Shannon, Carolyn McDonough, Josh Burke, and Stuart Harvey, whose tireless efforts have been essential to keeping this project moving forward and ensuring that UMaine will have a top quality building that will last for generations. I'd also like to acknowledge Monique Hashi at the UMaine Foundation and Sam Hallett from Black Bear Athletics for making this virtual dedication possible. Now it's time to break some ground. Let's move out to the building site.
And now, through the magic of technology and following all social distancing protocols, we are ready to do the ceremonial groundbreaking. Does everyone have their shovels ready? Okay, let's proceed to officially break ground for the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center at the University of Maine. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. It's official. We have broken ground on the largest capital project in UMaine's history. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining us for this virtual groundbreaking for the Ferland Engineering Education and Design Center. We'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, WBRC Architects Engineers, Ellenswig, Consigli, Seabags, and Emera Maine. I look forward to seeing you all in person at the dedication ceremony in 2022. We will close with the Maine Stein song.